What if I told you that there are millions of people out there that cannot read? Now, I want you to pick up a book and try to read uninterrupted without picking up your phone, opening up a new browser tab, or completely just zoning out. If you felt a little restlessness or anxiety about that, you are not alone. According to research by Dr. Glowy at UC Irvine, our attention span on a single screen has collapsed from 2 minutes to just under 47 seconds. You haven't lost your vocabulary. What you've lost is your brain's deep reading circuit, which has been re-engineered by algorithmic feeds designed to keep you scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. So this breaks up your brain's thought process into micro bits. In this video, we are taking a deep dive into why long reading seems so difficult now than it has ever been. Spoken language is wired into our DNA, but writing is an invention, a technology that's barely 5,000 years old. So reading long text is actually something new. To read a book, your brain undergoes a process. Neuroscientists call this neuroplastic repurposing. It takes networks for executive function, vision, speech, memory, and it manages to manually stitch them together. When you read physical print, that's basically linear processing. You move from left to right, line by line, building into structures step by step, building earlier passages into your memory, which is called comprehension. You read and then you comprehend what comes next. But when you spend multiple hours on social media, scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, your environment changes and your brain adapts to F-shaped scanning. So you train your brain to look for keywords, skip context, and go to the bottom of a reading instead of, like we did before, basically reading line to line and going through all text to comprehend. So why does a book feel like it's so uncomfortable after scrolling on social media? It comes down to two things: cognitive friction and dopamine pacing. Social feeds run on what psychologists call variable rewards engine. Every swipe offers a undetermined, unexpected dopamine hit, a joke, a controversy, or a news alert. So when you're reading and you're scrolling on social media, you never know what you're going to see. Basically, you look for the things you want to see, and then the things that are not interesting, you scroll right past. We have these feeds that are basically infinite, which encourages infinite scrolling. So people scroll for hours and hours, continuing this method of learning and adapting to this type of scrolling. When your brain is doing this type of scrolling, it gets used to this functioning that you have created. So people are not reading anymore. They're just searching and looking and not comprehending. And so children are not reading. Even adults can't read and have trained their brain this way from being on social media for hours and hours and hours at a time. Even if your phone is resting down, you still look for the next alert, the next text message, or pick your phone up in seconds just to see what's happening and what's going on. This is how you have created these patterns which allow you to just search for key things and not really comprehend what is actually going on. So what does this mean? Is everyone doomed from social media? The good news is the same neuroplasticity that was used to destroy your brain, it can actually be used to repair it and fix it. So your brain is like a muscle. So if you went to the gym today for the first time, you wouldn't try to bench press 300 pounds, would you? This is the same comparison. First thing I want you to do is to start with 15 minutes of reading each and every night, so you can get used to training your brain again to read in linear form. So reading from left to right, going through lines of reading and understanding and comprehending what you have just read. I want you to put your phone in another room. Make sure you are not distracted, because that's where a lot of our issues come in, is that we're distracted all day, every day with different things. And a lot of them are not important, but they still will distract you. So the next thing I want you to do is to understand that skimming is passive, and you need to learn how to read deeply. Use a pen or a highlighter when you are reading and highlight certain points, underline certain things. This will get your brain to react into what you have just read, making it easier for you to understand and comprehend. Because remember, you've been scrolling on social media all day and you haven't been understanding or having any deep thought about anything that you've read. You've just been skimming and skimming and skimming. The next thing I want you to do is to strip away screen dopamine. So I want you to turn your phone into grayscale, which means turn off all the lights and all of the colors in your phone, because if you've been scrolling on social media, you're used to this. So when you read a black and white print book, it looks totally different, and you're looking for the bells and the whistles that's not there, and so you find it very hard to just sit and read a book like old times. Reclaiming your ability to read is not about nostalgia for old books or snobbery. It's about understanding and getting back your need for critical thought and critical thinking in a hyper distracted world. When you lose the ability to read deeply, you lose the ability to think deeply. I want you to do one thing. This is my challenge for you. Get a book and read for 15 minutes tonight. Now, just one chapter. That's all you need to do. Do this for 30 days and you'll start to train your brain how to think again and start repairing those muscles in your brain that you need to have to think deeply. I hope you enjoyed this video, and subscribe to this channel if you haven't. I'll see you in the next video.